So I literally just got back to the hotel after playing Battlefield 6 for the first time ever. I played for about 4.5 hours today, played a bunch of different game modes. Now EA are saying that this is going to be the biggest Battlefield ever. The event they've put on here in LA is probably the biggest I've ever been to when it comes to gaming events. It's kind of crazy. They've hired out this movie studio and are putting on a real spectacle, really going all out. And to me, that says that I think they're confident in this game. They're confident that it's going to perform. But today I'm going to talk about what I thought of the game, my impressions, and also how all of this is related to Battlefront and the idea of Battlefront 3, if we're ever to get that from EA or DICE. Jordan, do you think they're going to announce Battlefront 3?
I think we're up to Battlefront 4 at this point. I mean, we've just had Battlefront 3 in like 2009.
They should skip Battlefront 3.
Yeah.
It's never going to be made.
Or we could just go back to Battlefront 1. I hear that's the new hot topic.
Just start again.
Yeah, just start again. I mean, it worked the first time, didn't it?
Now, EA are saying to us that this is going to be the biggest Battlefield ever, with more game modes than ever, as well as a return to the class system with the 4 different classes, more weapons, more customization, and Battlefield Portal, which is going to allow players to basically create their own maps and game modes, giving us heaps of control over what we do. This, for me, I think is really interesting. But aside from all the details, I first just want to talk a bit about what I actually think of the game. Do I actually like it? Are we going to play Battlefield? I guess we are. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. So like I said, I played the game for about 4.5 hours, and the thing that stood out to me the most from all of my time with the game is that it feels so much like Battlefield. I just have to get my computer, one sec. Okay, particularly with game modes like Conquest and Breakthrough, the large-scale game modes, it's absolute return to Battlefield chaos. Explosions all around, buildings being destroyed, vehicles such as tanks being extremely dangerous to come up against. But that said, during my playtest, I didn't really get enough time to explore more of the larger scale game modes. I didn't get to fly in any vehicles, helicopters, and instead we spent more time playing some of the smaller, newer game modes. And these included Squad Deathmatch and Domination. For me personally, these felt more like a Call of Duty style shooter versus Battlefield, but I guess just with some of the Battlefield destruction, weapons, and physics of using the weapons. But the pace of the game, especially in Domination, and the time to kill is so quick. The fact you could also respawn immediately after dying, I think was fun, but not necessarily the core Battlefield experience some Battlefield veterans would be looking for. Overall though, the game honestly does feel a lot like Battlefield 4. It's a spiritual successor to Battlefield 3 and 4, those are the words of some of the EA developers. And I think for me personally, it felt like more of a reboot of the Battlefield franchise, especially after the disappointment of Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 5, both not performing as well as previous Battlefields. And this feels like they're really trying to go back to that Battlefield 4 DNA, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, but I don't also see that they're doing too much different here. The other big thing that they talked about in the presentation and that I experienced in the gameplay was the tactical destruction. The fact you can take down a building using a rocket launcher or an RPG to try and flush out the enemy. You can blow the floor out beneath them, or destroy the roof above, or just completely level the building. Battlefield, of course, is known for its destruction, and they seem to really be going all out with it in Battlefield 6. And it definitely feels like they're leaning into that more than ever. Just destroy every building you see. I was just using the grenade launcher, the RPG, to just shoot at walls for fun. The destruction, damage, and physics, and also the fact that tactical destruction means that if you shoot the same part of the building each time, no matter what building it is, it will be destroyed in the same way. So you kind of can learn the system, learn how to destroy a building or take down a wall, and use that as a skill from match to match. A few of the other things that really stood out to me that I think are different from most other Battlefield games in the past was the fact that no matter what class you're playing as, you can choose any weapon from any class to go with it. For example, for a while I was playing as the Assault class but using a sniper rifle. I prefer the Assault class's attachments and accessories, using the grenade launcher, also the ability to carry a shotgun as well as a secondary weapon, and then switching to a sniper. For me, this was really fun, and I'm pretty sure this is available in all game modes. And I also really liked that any any class can revive a fallen player. The medic, however, can do this just much faster than all of the others, using the defibrillator for an instant revive, whereas the other classes take 4 or 5 seconds. And with this, they've also added the ability to drag a fallen player with you. So as if you're dragging them away from the action into cover, out of danger. This is such a cool feature. Love this. You can revive someone, you dragging them back into cover. And it's something that I wish the previous Battlefield games had had. The last Battlefield I played properly was Battlefield 1, so that's going back, what, 2016? I think that came out. It was the year after Star Wars Battlefront 1. And personally, I think squadding up with the team is the most fun you're gonna have in this game. There's something about the teamwork in Battlefield games, the squad-based objectives. This is, I think, one of the things that sets Battlefield apart from other shooters, and that's definitely present here again in Battlefield 6. Now, I have only played 4.5 hours. I can't comment on the game as a whole, but if I had to criticize, one thing I would say, for me, none of the maps were really that memorable. I didn't play on heaps of maps, and it kind of felt like we were moving through the same rotation of 3 or 4. I like the locations. I think they're quite unique, and I think potentially I haven't seen it yet, but I did, in this experience, miss some of the levolution stuff that used to happen in the older Battlefield games, where you destroy a giant structure in a map in Battlefield, and that would kind of change the outlook of the map and change the way it played, change the way you'd strategize as well. I haven't seen as much of that. I know that on the Brooklyn map, you can do something to the Brooklyn Bridge and destroy that. I didn't get any footage of that map, although I didn't get to play it, so perhaps for that stuff, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I also want to talk about Battlefront, because seeing and playing what I saw today with the destruction physics, with the squad-based teamwork, with the customization options, with the ability to create your own maps, man, all of this just once again feels like it'd be so cool to be in a Star Wars game. Like, can you imagine this but Star Wars? With Star Wars settings and locations and characters, it feels like, based on the engine and the physics of Battlefield that they have built here, there is so much opportunity for Star Wars. And I know that this game took a lot to make. I know that there are 4 studios that went into making Battlefield 6, but it feels like with the knowledge and skill base that these studios have, that EA have created with Battlefield 6, they could apply all of this to a Star Wars game and it could be incredible. And I still dream of that day.
It's been 84 years.
There's honestly a lot of fun to have in Battlefield 6. I feel like I've only scraped the surface, especially considering there's a story mode, the larger scale game modes, which I didn't get to play more of, but I'm probably going to play more very soon. I also like that they're doing an open beta that's free to all players. You don't need to pre-order the game or anything like that. Anyone can just play the open beta, can download the game. And I hope that gives them time to refine things and give Battlefield 6 the smooth launch that it deserves. Because the thing is, if Battlefield 6 is successful, it could potentially give these studios and EA the resources to potentially decide to work on a Battlefront game, to just decide to work on a Star Wars version of this if they ever decide to go down that route. I'm still just being speculative and hopeful, but I dream of that day. So what do you think of Battlefield 6? You're going to be playing? Let me know in the comments. Thanks to EA for inviting me to this event, letting me come out and play the game early. Watch this video for more of me, for more from the event as well. Come follow me on Instagram. I'm posting a bunch there. And thanks for watching this. Always remember,
stay bombastic.